we understand what it's like to go on a deployment. Like there's people who are in our masterminds, and obviously there's a fee to be in the mastermind. And like, if they're going to be deployed for 6 or 12 months, they're not going to be paying a fee while they're out to sea. They're still going to have access to all the resources and everything like that and be able to tap into it. We're not going to charge them when they're all serving our country, and nobody else would offer that. Like no other guru would be like, oh, yeah, don't worry about paying, you're going to be on deployment. Like there's different sacrifices for PCSs, which is like permanent change of station, where you have to move across the world sometimes with your whole entire family and disrupt your whole life. And sometimes you just need people that understand what you're going through and the sacrifices. So if you could find who those people are, like what you're good at, how you could resonate, and finding finding your tribe is just, man, so important now more than ever, man. People need community. That's what people are looking for. And you could start your own Facebook group. You could start your own podcast.
As an operator, I know other investors are romanticizing multifamily investing, and I'm looking to learn from other investors' mistakes. I know you are too, and you found the right place. Welcome to Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. Hey everybody, and welcome to Multifamily Missteps. I'm your host, Jerome, and I got the man, the myth, the legend in the building with me today, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Kelly's in. Tim, how are things? I don't even know where you are. Are you down south? Are you out west? Where are you?
Nah, man, I ended up kind of planting temporary roots here in Pensacola, Florida, right on the border of Florida and Alabama, man. It's, I was stationed here at NAS Pensacola. So got out in November of 2020, and we just stuck around. We've been traveling a lot, but we call Pensacola, Florida home right now.
Outstanding. And so the listeners may not understand why you're the man, myth, and the legend. And, I want to start the show off by saying, hey, man, thank you for your service. But give them a little rundown on where you've been, and then let's talk really intensely about what you've been working on most recently.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I just love what you're doing, man. Multifamily missteps is so crucial because it's just so important to understand and learn from other people, to avoid not only your own mistakes, but if you could avoid other people's mistakes, like that just puts you light years ahead, man. So I love this show, and I was excited to come. And so my name is Tim Kelly. I've been investing since about 2011, when I first kind of got into my first house hack. I was active duty, and I used my VA loan to live in a property. I rented out the bedroom before I even knew what house hacking was. And then I ended up forcing appreciation into it, and with the intentions of flipping it for a profit. And then in 2014, I went on a long deployment and read a bunch of books about money, about wealth building, about financial management. I've always just had an interest in all that stuff. And I kept seeing a reoccurring theme of real estate investing and how anybody can get into it. And yeah, there's a lot of gurus out there teaching it and all that, but I believed in my heart that I was able to do it without a ton of money, without a ton of experience, and still active duty, going in and out to sea on a ship. So I got off that deployment. And in 2015, I officially got the real estate bug, dove into Bigger Pockets, got Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read through that. Then I just explored all the other amazing Rich Dad Advisor books, The Loopholes of Real Estate, Cash Flow Quadrant, ABCs of Real Estate Investing, got educated, paid a lot of money for education, paid a lot of money for mentorship. So I really immersed myself in education and mentorship. And so with all that, I quickly realized that commercial and multifamily just made the most sense for me, what I was doing, for so many different reasons. And we could talk about those. And then while I was active duty, year probably 10 or 11, which was back in 2016, I just started focusing on commercial multifamily property. 2017, transferred here to Pensacola, where I was stationed in Virginia Beach, moved here that very first week, closed on a 4-unit property with the intentions of house hacking it. 6 months later, closed a 42-unit apartment complex. 6 months later, did a 27-pad mobile home community. After that, got another triplex that we were house hacking, and then just focus on commercial and multifamily since then. And then active duty passive income kind of is really just disrupted all of that, and been investing ever since then. But now I'm focusing pretty much all my efforts on helping other military members, past and present, create financial freedom through investing in real estate and just owning more of America, right? the land that they swore to fight hard for, and that they fight so hard for. And then I got out at 15 and a half years. And a lot of people looked at me like I have two heads when I decided to do that, because why not roll out to your 20 years? And you and I were talking about that right beforehand. And there's a lot of reasons why I got out, but now I'm just serving our community, huge community, amazing individuals that I've partnered with. Past and present military members could join active duty passive income. It's just, we're just a whole great community of like-minded and like-hearted people just trying to create wealth and abundance,
Beautiful. And so as you were going through it, I was like, man, you did all of these deals. I'm sure all of them went exactly as you planned. You made as much money as you expected. The time frames were exactly to the day and the hour you expected them to be.
Of course.
It makes it so easy, right?
Not at all, man. Dude, that is just, yeah. I love the provocative sarcasm, because it's this is why your podcast has so much value, man, because not a lot of people talk about the missteps and about the struggles and about what it really, really takes and the sacrifices to create and even just get the first deal closed, right? And so, yeah, man, yeah, of course, it all went swimmingly, not at all, but
well, you emphasize the education piece, and you emphasize, I think you mentioned masterminds as well. And so, those things help dramatically, and they help you skip over a lot of stuff, right? And for the people like, oh man, I'm smart, I'll just read the book, I'll figure it out on my own, they think they don't actually get it. Like, they're going to make a mistake on level 1 where they could skip and make mistakes on level 5 or 6. But I don't want to put words in your mouth. And you have committed to educating folks. So take me down this path a little bit on the importance of that.
Yeah, man. There can't be discovery. There can't be transformation. There can't be achieving ambitious goals in isolation. You cannot do it on your own. It's just impossible. If you're trying to create some kind of transformation, it doesn't happen in isolation. You have to understand that getting your education is absolutely crucial, right? The how do you find deals? How do you analyze deals? How do you analyze markets? How do you raise cap? Like, you got to know that through, and you could learn all that from books and podcasts and YouTube University and whatever, but connecting with other people who are doing it, who have gone before you, willing to reach their hand down, pull you up to their level. That's what like our academies and masterminds are all about inside of active duty passive income. That's what we do. We're a specific niche of military minded individuals where we're a little bit different. We just are grown. We're programmed differently. And so we could speak the same language, but integrating into some kind of accountability system, some kind of group, some kind of community where you could actually every single day speak the language with other people who are doing it or who are trying to do it and who understand your goals, man. Because if you're trying to talk to the average person, you like your spouse, your friends, your family, people at work, your W-2 job, they're going to look at you like you're freaking crazy if you say, man, I'm trying to take down a $15 million, 250 unit apartment complex in Texas. Meanwhile, I live in Florida and I've never done it before. They're going to be like, who the heck do you think you are? Right. So sharing those goals with people who could be like, oh man, cool. How could I help you? Let's try to take it down together. How could I help you analyze it? Do you need assistance raising capital? Like, those are the people you need to connect with, right? So you have to be able to tap in and find that community of people who understand your goals and who could help you and support you along the way and pull you up if you're struggling, because it's not easy, man. And most people would never even try to go after or attack these goals. So you have to intentionally put yourself in these rooms every single week, if not every day, of people who are doing it and can understand what you're going after.
Now, was there a point where you were trying to do it on your
own? You know what? Not like, dude, I think that's part of my personality. Like, I am way more right-brained. Like, I have to be able to connect and surround myself with people. At the same time, like, isolation is for deep work and education. Like, getting projects done, you got to have deep work. You got to have focus and learning on your own. So then when you go have conversations with people, you sound like an expert, even with no experience. And that's like a complete game changer. And you could attest to this. Like the minute you had that aha moment where you could speak about, where you could talk about, yeah, man, I could talk about what NOI and cap rate is and debt service coverage ratio. And I understand what a GP and an LP is and the SEC regulation. Like the minute, it's not very advanced. Anybody could learn this stuff, but the minute you could start having those conversations, people are like, all right, cool. You've done your homework. You know what you're talking about. You may have done a couple deals, even if you haven't done any, so you have to learn that stuff on your own. But you could also learn that stuff with other people. You could have an accountability group and learn it together, but you have to put the work in yourself. And I think I just naturally gravitate and have to find other people to collaborate with. And that's why it just made so much sense for me to go bigger, because I knew it took a team effort. It wasn't me trying to do like 10 single family homes on my own, managing everything on myself while I was still active duty, going in and out to sea. Like I knew I could figure out what role I was going to play in a large syndication or joint venture, only stick to my role, and then my partners would handle the rest. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot more scalable. So I think naturally I just was gravitating to find organizations of people who were just could understand and who could speak the language,
Yeah, and so you guys have done a wonderful thing. I think you mentioned that you're right at 100,000 members in your close Facebook group. And I mean, it's a massive community. And I think most people have a hard time finding 10 folks who understand the thing. And so for the folks out there who are trying to understand, like, how do we build a community so that we can go out and do big deals? What would you say to them? Because this didn't exist until it was created.
Yeah. Yeah. So as of this recording, the goal for 2022, by the end of 2022, is to get 100,000 members into our Facebook group. Right now we're at about 60,000 ish, but dude, it takes a team of just moderators. It's not just a Facebook group anybody could join. It's specifically, you have to have a military affiliation, whether past, present, mom, dad, brother, sister, and you can't solicit. If you're an agent or a lender, you can't go in there. So they're very specific. So it takes a team effort just to moderate a group that size. And obviously you don't need a group that size. I didn't leverage that group, before to get deals done or anything like that. This was all for education and getting people together to learn what they wanted to learn about past and present military members, creating freedom. So then whenever they decide to exit the military, they don't have to go back into the W-2 workforce. Like so many people, they do a 20, 30 year career. That's all they know. That's all they ever focused on. Now they have to get another job after they just served their country for 20 or 30 years, doing the same thing, but as a civilian. It makes sense for me to do. And I know a lot of people don't want to do that, but they don't think they have another option. So more and more people are like, okay, this makes sense. I want to create abundance and freedom. So then if I want to get out at 10 years or 15 years, I can. But if I want to stay in until 20, I can get out at 20 and have passive income, have abundance, have generational wealth that I could now focus my efforts on instead of figuring it out after you get out. That's, one of the, worst things that I see veterans do is they stay in for 20 years. And then now that they're 6 months out, they're like, what am I going to do when I grow up? What am I going to do now?
The knowledge, deal flow, experience, and capital to be successful. They often try to overcome these challenges out of order, slowing or eliminating their ability to get the next deal done. We have developed a framework that allows them to gain the knowledge they need to find profitable deals. When they use our system, they create time and location freedom, as well as the generational wealth they desire for their family. The Multifamily Kickstart program has proven to be the fastest way to establish credibility and build a profitable apartment portfolio. Hop over to jeromemyers.co to find out more info.
And so it's amazing to see people who are not even in the military yet. They're going through either their midshipman tours or NJROTC, and then some brand new E1, E2, or O1, O2, the officers, very early in their careers, they're going through flight training, and they're still doing deals, people in our masterminds, in our community. So it's amazing to see. But how to build that community, I think it's just unique because it's such a fine niche. the percentage of people who ever join the military, like, 1% of the nation, right? Out of those people, the ones who actually could like see through the noise and be like, I think I could create abundance in real estate investing and in business and creating assets that provide cash flow and that appreciate. So it's just such a narrow, fine niche. And that's exactly who we focus on. That's who we help. That's who we serve. So just reaching those individuals, we're constantly just working on more reach and impacting more people. But I think it helps that it's a super, super narrow niche that we're serving, and we all speak the same language. Just like when you're going to talk to somebody at a networking event, one of the absolute best things you could do is to sit down and get to know that other person's Ford. You don't care about what you want. You don't care about your goals. You want to get to know their Ford, their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams. If you are genuinely interested in them, their family, what they do for fun, what their job is, and what their goals are in life and in business and in real estate, you're going to figure something out where there's a commonality, and that automatically creates some kind of bond where like, and trust each other, then maybe eventually have a better chance of doing business together. For the military, it's like, oh, you were Air Force? Cool. I was Navy from blah, blah, blah. Like, Air Force sucks, Navy sucks. We're like, Army versus Navy, whatever. Like, there's a bond, right? There's a bond. We speak the same language, so it's like automatically there's that connection. So hint for the people who are not, right? Get to know the people who you're hanging out with, who you're networking with at conferences, networking events. Don't care about what you want. Just ask them about them. And then be prepared with your elevator pitch and stuff, so you can explain exactly what you're doing, who you are, what you're looking for. But you mostly care about the other people in that room and how you could help them, how you could serve them, and how you could maybe collaborate if they're looking for what you could offer. If that makes sense, man, I think it's because of that niche and because we can speak our own language. And so many people are like creating these ideas that, look, this pension is going away, dude. Like, one of the main things that kept the military like so attractive was the pension. You serve 20 years, you get a pension for life. That is literally slowly going away. They took some of that away. They converted it into the blended retirement system, where now they take some of that and force you to invest in the stock market, in the TSP, the thrift savings plan, which is like the 401k version for the military. They match you and stuff, but like, it's not guaranteed income, dude, like the pension was, you know what I'm saying? So it's like another step where all these companies are shifting the liability from the employee or from the employer to the employee. So yeah, did that answer your question, man?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the download because there's so many different factors. The big key for somebody, even if they're not, tied to the military, is one, find your niche, find your people.
Yeah, man.
Two, create a high value situation for them where they can get access to things that they may not have access to, which will accelerate their opportunity to actually have a successful result. Yeah, and then really, I think the final piece that folks may not have picked up on, but I think is really, really important, is understand the environment, understand what changes are happening that are going to impact the people that you're serving. Because if you can do that, then you can help advise them and provide them with solutions that they may not even be aware of. And then they can get to the freedom and the abundance and some of the other things that kind of get thrown around as cliches today, but are very real concepts. And once you experience them, you'll never go back. But I think, a lot of people haven't actually experienced that stuff, and they just kind of throw it around as a marketing tool in order to get people to give them money. So,
yeah, man, that's great. That's some great takeaways. And it's just, if you could resonate with a community and people who have the same struggles or challenges like the military, we understand what it's like to go on a deployment. Like, there's people who are in our masterminds, and obviously there's a fee to be in the mastermind. And like, if they're going to be deployed for 6 or 12 months, they're not going to be paying a fee while they're out to sea. They're still going to have access to all the resources and everything like that and be able to tap into it. We're not going to charge them when they're all serving our country, and nobody else would offer that. Like, no other guru would be like, oh, no, don't worry about paying, you're going to be on deployment. Like, there's different sacrifices for PCSs, which is like permanent change of station, where you have to move across the world sometimes with your whole entire family and disrupt your whole life. And sometimes you just need people that understand what you're going through and the sacrifices. So if you could find who those people are, like what you're good at, how you could resonate, and finding that finding your tribe is just, man, so important now more than ever, man. People need community. That's what people are looking for. And you could start your own Facebook group. You could start your own podcast. I mean, Jerome has an amazing follower, and he's specifically he's specifically educating people from the lens of like, look, multifamily missteps, man. Like, these are the people who are actually willing to be vulnerable and say, this is where I messed up. And vulnerability equals strength. So you're bringing some amazing people on your show that is just adding so much value to people who are trying to get into this game and wrap their head around it, because it's not easy. So, but yeah.
I appreciate that a lot, Tim. So kind of to wrap up,
Yeah.
what words of wisdom do you have for the listeners? And before you do that, tell us about the conferences coming up.
Oh, yeah. I want to share the conference. I mean, ADP Icon is something that people in our community have asked since before the pandemic. Then we're like, okay, we can't really do this during the pandemic. So we finally nailed everything down. It's happening in October, the 21st through the 24th of October in New Orleans, at the Astor Crown Plaza, right there on the corner of Canal and Bourbon Street, like in the middle of everything. Second floor, we're gonna be watching the parade. So it's just a bunch of past and present military members from our community that are gonna be there, networking with each other, learning from each other. Some of our best students, and now called ADPI heroes, who are like our lead coaches, they're gonna be taking the stage and sharing their stories. And we have amazing speakers lined up, and lunches and dinners, live jazz, live blues, all this amazing stuff. So we're looking forward to that. And the ADPI Capital Fund is something that I just really wanted to touch on for a minute, because it is the opportunity where we lowered the barrier of entry for members. If they don't have 25K or 50K and they're not accredited investors, to get into 506B or C deals to invest in commercial multifamily, mobile home community storage facilities, Reg A plus funds allow people to invest with as little as $500. So now we've launched this ADPI Capital Fund to where any of our members could invest as little as $500. First equity fund one is 10 million bucks. So that money is actually going to fund the members of our community who are bringing us deals, who are top tier students who we've trained, we've educated. They've already done multiple deals that have been successful. And now that capital is funded from our community, is funding our best members deals, that meet our criteria, the apartment complexes, the mobile home parks, the storage facilities. And now we're kind of just the liaison, and we're the connecting all this capital with our best students who have supported us, who have proven that what we offer is quality, because they're now success stories. And we're just trying to make a biggest impact as possible, allowing as many past and present military members to own more of America, right? That they fight so hard for. So the fund is something we're super excited about that we just launched. Go to adpicapital.com, and the ADPI conference is in October. You can meet the whole team. So many people in our community are going to be there, and we're just so excited to get everybody in the same room finally, man. It's going to be exciting.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And words of wisdom.
Oh yeah, man, words of wisdom. Like so many different ones. And understand that as you learn, especially if you're just getting started, even if you're not, even if you've done a deal or two deals and you're like, man, there's that ceiling, I'm hitting that glass ceiling, what's going on? Anybody can learn how to take down 100+ unit commercial multifamily deals, how to joint venture, or how to general partner in one of those deals. Anybody can. Reading books, connecting with people, just listening to podcasts, you can learn the mechanics, right? The more important part is adapting and growing your mindset and personal and professional development. Because as you learn all these things, if your mindset is here and you're not able to think like the high performers and like the most successful people who do this, you're going to really struggle, right? So as you're learning the mechanics, continue your personal development growth, right? Continue to learn how to improve your confidence, how to improve your communication skills, how to improve your level of courage, how to be able to continue to improve your energy levels, like your health and your wellness. Like all these things are what the most successful people focus on all the time. And that's why they're able to do all these deals. So as you're growing, as you're learning all these things about commercial multifamily, taking down these large deals and partnering, continue your personal professional development journey, and always be a student. With that, continue to know that it might take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different partnerships, investor relationships, broker relationships, property manager relationships until you find that one, right? The first property manager doesn't work out. Cool. Go to the next one. What are the lessons learned? Don't make the same mistakes. Now you're even smarter. There's no such thing as failure. You either win or you learn and move forward, right? So you either win or you learn and move forward. Remove failure from your vocabulary. I love this stuff, man. Mindset is so important, and I'll leave it at that, bro.
Outstanding. Tim, thanks for bringing so much value. Thank you for your service and continuing to serve even after you've ended your military service. And to the listeners, the pack's with you. We'll talk soon. You made it to this juncture, so you really love what we shared on this episode of Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. Do us a favor. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. And share this with somebody who's interested in multifamily investing. Until the next time, the pack is with you.